I mean, Tom Aspinall still can't see. He's got a fucked up right eyeball still.
It's really bad, right?
The reality is he might not ever fight again. Like, who knows? Like, if he has surgery on his eye and it doesn't go well and he can't see out of the eye, apparently he's still fucked up in his right eye. There's some tendon damage or something. And, you know, eyes are so tricky, you never know. Unless you're a fucking complete psychopath like Michael Bisping, who fought 11 fights in the UFC blind in one eye, which is so crazy that he did that.
That's not me saying some
I did his
dumb
podcast,
shit, man.
right? That's your buddy. I did his podcast.
That's my buddy, man, but he's so stupid, man.
What did he
This
say?
dude-
I did not see this.
Bro, let me put this dude Josh, man. Josh gonna go up on. See, here's the problem. You know what? So Josh always talks to me about moving to Texas. Oh man, it's so nice in Texas. Problem with moving to Texas is you start believing in stuff that just is not true, man. People
All right, so I'm really digging this perspective, and it truly aligns with what I'd call the raw, unfiltered Texas vision of combat sports. From a somewhat magnified viewpoint, we sometimes encounter this gentle delusion floating around, a soft narrative suggesting that matters are a little easier, a little more forgiving than they actually are in reality. We're talking about distrust and falsehoods here, folks. This dangerously strong conviction in something that just isn't real, that has no basis in the brutal world of professional fighting. Because I assure you, when it comes to prospects within this sport, if you dare to enter that cage, that absolutely unforgiving octagon, with even a mere hint of innocent hope, anything less than absolute primal savagery, you've already lost the mental battle before the first strike is thrown, before you even touch gloves. This isn't about some geographical identity or a romanticized idea that sounds good in motivational videos. No, this is the harsh reality of elite combat. The UFC, at its core, values nothing except raw aggression and the ability to dominate another human being. They search for the strong, the unyielding, the fighters who refuse to break. And here's where the real separation happens. True discipline, that relentless commitment to the craft, the grind nobody sees. That's what divides real contenders from pretenders. If your focus drifts into media hype or empty promises outside the gym and the cage, your foundation is flawed. And when you're under those lights, fully exposed, only then will you find out whether you've done the real work, or whether you'll pay the price. And trust me, it's a brutal, lasting one.
It's just not true. Where did Josh Thompson hear that? Cause you ever wonder why?
But, Daniel, did you see who ended up in the Epstein files?
Rogan, but that's not true.
Yes, he
Rogan
did.
wasn't in. Rogan
No,
wasn't.
John
in
Jones.
people.
John Jones.
You're a liar.
John Jones was his favorite fighter.
Bro, you're a liar, bro.
No bullshit. Go type it in.
Swear on everything.
Swear on everything. You know what? I'll try to send it to Luis right now because you can search them yourselves. Yeah, that's John Jones' favorite fighter.
Now here's where things get even more intense. What adds another layer of insanity to this entire situation is that the individual we're talking about has had his name surface in the infamous Epstein records that have been making waves across the media. Think about that for a moment. That's not a minor detail. It carries serious weight and implications. This revelation adds more complexity, more uncertainty, and far more questions than answers. It's not something you can just brush aside. It becomes a critical piece of the overall picture, something that demands attention when you're evaluating everything that's unfolding here.
So fatigued. They looked like they weren't ready to fight. They also looked like they just they didn't look as skilled as we have seen fighters look recently. So what you really need is you need the best guys fighting to kind of wipe the bad performances out.
Now let's talk about the brutal landscape that defines the UFC at its highest level. In this savage ecosystem, a so-called accident isn't really an accident. It's simply an outcome you failed to anticipate or prevent through preparation. And here's the unsettling part. Do you really think Tom Aspinall's belief that something was done to him intentionally doesn't weigh on him every single day? That kind of psychological damage is just as real and crippling as any physical injury. Within the UFC machine, everything is driven by relentless momentum. The division doesn't stop for anyone, no matter how legitimate their situation is. It doesn't matter whether something was intentional or accidental. The only thing that matters is performance. Can you show up? Can you deliver? The belt demands constant activity and presence. And if you can't meet that expectation, the division moves on without you. At that point, you're not just fighting opponents. you're fighting to keep your place, your career, and your relevance in a system that never waits.